Okay. Hello. I just wanted to talk about some things that really bother me and certain interactions in my life that caused me to, hate myself a little bit, or not just myself, but hate the world a little bit. So I'm just gonna rant about that stuff. So honestly, this is kind of a waste of time for everyone. So if you don't like this stuff, everything that I will talk about in this video or in this content is gonna come from my experience. So if you don't like any of that stuff, you can leave. But check out my music stuff. Anyway, this is Late Nights Rant with N.JINY. So first thing, I guess I'm gonna keep this video pretty short. The only thing that I'm gonna talk about is here, I wrote it down, so I'm just gonna, so I don't fuck it up. I hate how I act like it's okay when someone makes a racist comment. So it's kind of like, maybe this happened to everyone, but then they don't talk about it. But for me, I kind of talk about this a lot with my friends, and about just not just the racist thing, that happens daily, right? That happens to everyone, not white people though. So here's my story. Before I tell this story, a little bit about myself. I studied music in college, and I went to grad school for jazz composition and jazz voice. I studied jazz voice, yeah, but mostly for jazz composition. And I am from Nebraska. I'm from Korea, but I grew up in Nebraska, so I kind of like, that's kind of who I am. And I'll talk about that maybe in a different video, I don't know. But anyway, I went to grad school, graduated last year. I studied jazz. Oh, I forgot the part that I moved to Chicago to study jazz. So yeah, I'm from Nebraska, but I moved to Chicago to study jazz, right? I was in my first year of grad school, and I was in this jazz combo. So what you do as jazz combo is you meet with a group, and you rehearse, you practice, and then you pretty much prepare for the end of the semester concert, right? And for my group, it was me. I was a singer and a bassist, keyboardist, drummer, and then the professor. So 5 people. So this was like my first year, 3 months in, 3 to 4 months in. So I don't really know everyone, and I'm just trying to, get better at this stuff, because I don't know shit about jazz, honestly. Still, I don't know anything about jazz, honestly. So I'm trying to like just keep up, pretty much, right? So I don't know anyone. I don't really care to get to know them. Honestly, at that time, I didn't really care. But 3 months in, 4 months in, it was before the rehearsal started. And we're just chatting it up, trying to get to know everyone and things like that. Those small talk stuff. And out of nowhere, like actually out of nowhere, I think, if I remember correctly, maybe I'm just remembering the negative parts of the story, but if I remember correctly, I think we're just kind of talking about food in Chicago, I think. And then, I guess it's not kind of out of nowhere, but it got to a point where we talked about Korean restaurants. by that time, they knew I was Korean. And we're talking about Korean barbecue. Or I didn't talk about this. I didn't bring this shit up. Like, I think what I said, I wasn't even honestly part of this conversation. I was like in the group, I was in the rehearsal, I was there, but I didn't really partake in this conversation. They were just kind of chatting, and the professor kind of brought it up with the food thing. And then the professor, I don't want to say the gender, but the professor brought up Korean barbecue or Korean restaurants, and it was directed to me. Like the conversation was tossed to me, and I felt like that was kind of out of nowhere. I mean, it's not really out of nowhere because they were talking about food, but I wasn't part of the conversation. I remember that. I remember I was just kind of like sitting there, and then they were kind of talking about food, and then Korean barbecue, boom, to me, right? So at that point, I'm just like, why me? Anyway, I was like, okay, and then maybe I'll talk about that a little bit. And then I just kind of jumped into the conversation. But then right when when that Korean barbecue question was tossed to me, the keyboard player, this motherfucker, he said, while laughing, when that Korean barbecue question was tossed to me, right away he laughs and he says, "Oh, you would know." And now, I mean, maybe some people might say I'm overreacting. Some people might say, you know, oh, that's not a big deal. But when I heard it, I knew he meant it as a joke to make fun of me. And the joke was not, I guess, well formed, or it wasn't the right time or the place. Because think about it, like, I've only known the people for like 3 to 4 months, maybe at most 4 months, and then it's not, I don't know you to joke about that stuff, right? Maybe I did in high school, like, just to, I don't know, make friends. Which is kind of going back to the topic, like, I hate that I acted like that. But anyway, the situation was, yeah, the keyboard player made a joke. Oh, you would know about this, Korean barbecue because I'm Korean, I guess. Which I mean, I do, but that's not the point. But at that moment, the five of us in the group, bassist, keyboardist, the motherfucker, and the drummer, me, professor, was in this awkward state where they kind of looked at each other. We all knew that, what the fuck did he just say that? And then the drummer and the bassist actually told the keyboard player, the person who made that joke, like, why did you say that? In a very serious manner, because they thought that was uncalled for, right? But then I wasn't really part of the conversation at that point, because the drummer and the bassist were kind of like whispering to the keyboardist, like, what the fuck did you say that? But then I heard it because the room was pretty fucking small. But anyway, as they say that, I took it and I tried to fix that situation by saying, oh yeah, I know this place, like, blah blah blah. I think I said, like, I named a place that I like read online. I haven't been there. I literally just moved to Chicago like 3 months ago. Like, I don't know shit, right? I still don't know shit about places in Chicago. But anyway, I was like, oh yeah, this place sounds good. So like, I was kind of like, and then that moment kind of went by, and we had to do a rehearsal, right? But then on the way back home, I was just thinking about what I did, like, at the time, I was 25, I'm 26 now. I was 24 then, yeah. Even then, I'm a grown man. I was hurt by that statement, so I should have it doesn't have anything to do with me being a grown man, but I'm a grown person and I can voice my opinion on things. If that hurt me, I should have said, why the fuck did you say that? And then made the situation in a way more awkward, but at least I voiced my opinion, right? This is what I think, and you should know what I think, right? But I don't know why I didn't do that, and I kind of just hated myself for doing that, and that's why I wanted to talk about how I hate myself, or I hate the situation for me to act like it's okay when someone makes a racist comment. So yeah, just ranting a little bit. I don't know if this actually makes me feel better. I kind of started this as a way to make me feel better, because I was talking to my friend and he said if I wrote it down or if I talked about it more, maybe it would clear my mind a little bit. But these are the things that I can't forget and that, you know, keeps me up at night. It's what time is it? It's 5:26 a.m. Holy shit. But yeah, just thought I would make this video, and maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. I don't know if this made me feel better, because I'm like reliving that moment right now, and I'm kind of like cringing at the fact, like at what I said and what the interaction was. But yeah.